Hi, everybody. It's Monday morning, and I'm here with the lovely Mel Doerr. And you know who I am.
They say the eyes are the first to go, but it's
I love your shirt. That's from Africa, huh?
the last day we were I just wanted a couple t-shirts, and we right before they took us to the airport, we stopped at a t-shirt place and I saw this shirt and I said, I gotta have that shirt. So I bought it, and then I got a couple t-shirts, and these I bought for everybody, and I just stuck one on today. They're like hand carved, and it's like all the animals, and it was really cool.
That's cool. How was, how was the food?
The food was incredible. There's a lot of Indian food in Africa.
I'm not into India.
Well, because Africa was actually a British colony, and
Yeah.
then and actually Great Britain controlled India as well. And a lot of the places are owned by Indian companies, but they had like African food as well, and it was really good actually.
You said that before. I think the last time you were there, the food was good.
The food was really, I cannot complain about the food whatsoever.
That's great.
On the last day, we went to a restaurant called Carnivore, and it was kind of like a Brazilian steakhouse where they just bring you
Yeah.
samples of everything, and then the exotic meats. And one of the items was ox testicles, which
Oh, did you
everybody
order that?
had one. They're sliced, and you can't tell. And I tried one, and it wasn't so much the idea of what I was eating; it was just that it tasted like liver. Ugh.
Yeah, no.
And I hate liver, and the texture was like, bleh. But they did have ostrich meatballs, and those were good.
Oh,
And
okay.
just different kinds of beef made African style. When they cook it on spits, it was different kinds of chicken and pork, and it was really, really good
A
actually.
lot of nice people like last time. You
Oh
guys
my
had
God, it was incredible, incredible. A lot of people from YouTube, and everybody, I think, hopefully they had the time of their lives. There was some hiccups, but we got through them. But everybody learned what an African massage is all about. And what an African massage is uh, many of the roads, like in the Serengeti and Ngorongoro and Masai Mara, are unpaved, and there's big holes. And when you've gone, 6 hours on an unpaved road, and you're like,
I know.
that's called an African massage.
Okay. I love it. So
So
listen, oh, go ahead.
I never thought I'd be so thankful to see a paved road. The things here we take for granted, like a paved road. It was like, wow. So
So listen, God bless everybody that's going through the Beryl hurricane. Our sister from another mother. Hold on 1 second, sorry. Susan Lynn lives in Texas. She said it is shaking and a rolling. And apparently there's going to be about 8 inches of water. And right now, Susan Lynn is fine, everybody.
good.
But I asked people if you needed us to do a prayer for you. So between you and me, Mel,
Okay.
we'll energetically put, and all of you who are watching this, let's put our soul energy out for blessings. We're encircling everybody in the white light. Unfortunately, in Harris County, there was one death. A tree fell on their house. But still, it wasn't a stage 5 hurricane. It was 1, and now it's a tropical storm. So
Right. I read about it. Rated.
So we're asking for M. Deasy. She's giving her blessings and love. Robin's giving her blessings and love. CJ wants Catherine, Dennis, and the children and the grandchildren to be protected. Equus MBO for all of Texas. Susan Lynn, she said thanks to everybody. Karen, prayers protection for all those in the path of Beryl and the animals too. MBO for safety in the wake of the weather conditions is from CC. Jerry, special prayers for protection. Our Honda, Rhonda, sorry, Rhonda, not our Rhonda. Please pray for my husband and my daughter and her 5 kids in Texas. Prayers. Okay, prayers for her health and her husband's recovery. He had a surgery, I guess. Edith, here in Beaumont, Texas. We are east of Houston and expecting lots of rain and some flooding. I am safe, but I worry about those that are homeless. Oh, and by the way, their governor is in Korea. He's
Yep.
not even there. He's just like Ted Cruz.
Figures.
Dawn said prayers from Beryl's path. Victoria and Houston, so far the storm isn't that bad. And now Lopez, thank you. We really need them. It's bad here. Angela Loggins in Flufferville, Texas. Thank you for your prayers. I will pray for others. Daisy, pray for safety. Dawn, sending protection and many blessings to those in need. Prayers and most benevolent outcome to all those affected. This is from A Park. Cynthia, blessings and protections for North Texas. Susan McDonald, Longview, Texas. Rach, prayers for Susan Lynn and everyone in Texas. User, to Susan Lynn and everyone in Texas. User, praying Susan Lynn is safe and protected. My name is Deborah. I live near downtown Houston. Oh yeah, we gotta pray for you, Deborah. Joe, aloha. I'm in Texas, just in Fort Worth. I've been sending prayers. Amen. And you know, cousin Sue lives, but she lives
Right.
Yeah, she lives way away from this. Thank God. They'll get rain now. JS, praying. Barbara, I'm near Houston, Texas. Lots of rain and strong winds. I'm safe. Good. Lydia, please pray for my niece and her 3 babies in Texas. Mary, praying for all to be safe. Vivian, prayers for the people and animals in Beryl's path. Adele, protection for Susan Lynn and everyone in Texas. Robin, sending love and light to all. Mel, I live southwest of Houston, but I'm out of town right now. Update from my neighbors is there's no power, but we'll pray for their well-being. Catherine, stay safe, Susan, both you and your family and anyone else in the path of the hurricane. Robert said he'd be praying prayers for Susan Lynn from Amanda and all family and animals in Texas. Nat wants Eric and Joseph in our prayers. Rian, the remnants of the hurricane is heading for lower Michigan by Wednesday, 3 to 5 inches of rain. Jose, he sends prayers. Ginny, love and prayers for my friend Julie, who's in Texas. Mary, my niece Hannah and her family live in Texas, and my sister Patty and her husband are in the path. Joanne, sending prayers and thoughts to Texas. Lisa Foster, sending prayers. Prayers for my cousins as well from Carol. My nephew and his family lives there. This is Deanne. Janelle is Houston. She's in Houston. Sylvia, prayers for everyone. My man, pray. Beryl's scaring me. Lots of prayers. Jenny, Victoria, Zach, Ronan, Brenna, and Indiana. Good. Carolyn, Missy, and their families. Stephanie, Ryan, and Joaquin. Please play. Lynn says, please pray for my friends, the Johnsons. Yes, says you guys. Oh, well, that's totally. She says you should have Alan Lickman on the show. Hell yeah, well, I'll write him. We should have him.
Oh, I agree with that.
Kay, my first name is Kay. I live in Texas, but it's not near the Gulf Coast. It's in the Dallas area. We are supposed to get some storms today as a result. Prayers for Susan Lynn and everyone. PJ, I have family in Texas, but not so close to the ocean. They live in Dallas. Please pray for my grandma, and her name is Tara, and she's 104. Oh my goodness. Anne sends prayers. Mary says, Mary and family, we were in Galveston. McGrill says, Rodriguez family in Cyprus. Elizabeth says, Alex and JC. Mimi, Laura and family, thank you. Deanne is in League City, Texas. Flight wife says, Misty and Eon. PJ, Jen, I'm in East Texas. R. Goldberg, we have been texting with a friend named Woody Cox near Galveston. Texas girl, my parents, Faye and Billy. This is Mel. I have an interesting observation. The path of Hurricane Beryl has a similar path to the solar eclipse in April. Wow. Lenore, can't reach my parents who live in South Houston, Texas. This is I. Browning. Water Lily, update. A tree has fallen on my daughter's beautiful home. The upstairs is destroyed. I'm shaking. They are a mess. I'm not in Texas, but I have a lot of family in Houston. I have my daughter Vanessa, who's 8 months pregnant, my grandson, my sisters Kathy and Linda, my brother David, and many nieces and nephews. Yes, prayers for them. Paula, good old Texas governor, took off to Korea. He's not even here. Dan Patrick is the governor in charge. My name is Paula and my son Evan, so we need to pray for them. And Kyle, what part of Texas is Susan in? Well, I imagine she can tell everybody. I don't give the cities where people live, or
Right.
I say you live in Chicago. I'm not saying whereabouts.
Right, exactly.
And
It's a
she can
small-
say it though. She can say
Right.
I live in blah, blah, blah. If you notice, I always say I live in Northern California. I try not to say the city. All right, so thank you guys. We said our prayers to everyone.
We call on the white light and the protection to put around the people in Texas to keep them free and safe from this storm. And somebody said that their tree fell on their daughter's house and the upstairs is a mess, but at least your daughter and her family are alive and well. And that's what let's celebrate. Houses can be fixed.
Yeah, but does insurance companies cover hurricane damage?
I don't know. Probably, well, some states they make it really tough. So, but but at least as I said, I am not minimizing that. Thank
Well,
God.
if it was caused by the wind, I think they cover it. They do certain acts of God. And I know sometimes it's wind damage, like we had a fence that went down because of wind damage. And
I
they
don't know. I think it depends on the insurance, but anyway, I'm just glad that they're all okay. That's the main thing.
So my friend, I know you were sort of a little out of the loop as far as what was coming on here. You probably, listen, since you've been gone, I have not turned on any of the MSNBCs or anybody. I did take a little quick look on YouTube about President Biden, who was speaking to Joe. But even one of my most favorite people, Adam Schiff, Attica, as I like to call him, he was asking for Biden to step down.
Kevin Chandler's, when I could get texts in Africa, because there's places where there's no internet, there's no phone service. And in some of the places we
I
stayed
know, I
at,
kept writing you that I wanted my $3.50 back, and you said, I have no internet. Go ahead.
there you go. The books are coming, okay. All right. I'm in Africa. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. I have my focus. I'm like you. I have my focus.
I know. I called the staff. The neighbor took it. So anyway, but at some places like 11 o'clock, the lights are out, all the electricity's out, internet's out. So you just kind of, but it was incredible. But anyway, Kevin Chandler we did hear about, the SCOTUS immunity thing, which everybody had predicted anyway. So
it's going to go back to the court. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't that big of a shock because we all knew it. We all knew Trump was behind that. And I did hear about the debate. Kevin Chandler texted me about that, Biden just didn't do so well. And I said, well, if there's a second debate, Trump will probably cancel that because he feels like he's a step ahead now because of the debate. But, I think for people calling Biden to step down and this and that, they need to stop. Because essentially when they do that, they're playing right into Trump's game. That's what Trump wanted.
And Russia's putting out all kinds of stuff.
And I'm sure somebody planted that story somewhere and it just took.
But in the meantime, they're not talking about the child abuser, the pedophile. They're not talking about that.
Correct. And they're not talking about Trump being convicted on 34 counts.
That he's out on bail and that he lies like while he breathes. And they're not even looking at that. Come to find out, everybody that owns all these news places, they're all Trump people.
Correct. So the bottom line is that I'm sure it was planned by Trump and by Russia. And And so I think the Democrats need to stop talking about tell them to step down, because it weakens the Democrats. And I see them getting their heads together and standing behind Biden.
That's what I saw. I said it might take a couple of weeks, but trust me, even by September, Biden's going strong.
And you know what? It's early enough that it'll be a little ouch, but it's not going to be the huge ouch that everybody will think. And I think at some point the Democrats need to go on the offensive as opposed to the defensive and say what we've just talked about. Wait a minute. So Biden was, a little off
He had a bad night. Yeah.
but at least our candidate has not been convicted of 34 counts, has not been held liable for fraud, has had no indictment. Let's talk about the MAGA candidate, shall we? So my feeling is, I heard Biden on Morning Joe this morning.
Yeah, that's what I watched.
I heard about his letter, but other than that, I have been out of the loop.
Yeah.
And so
he was on with George Stephanopoulos, and I think Biden did really good. But George kept asking the same question over and over again.
I heard about that.
Why don't you are you sure? Are you sure if they're asking you to step down? He said, what do you mean they? Nobody's approached me.
If I were Biden, I would have said the same thing. I would have said, can we just move forward, please? I've already answered your question and now it's a moot point. I like
willing to take a test. He says, I'm working the test every day. Every day I'm running this country.
Yeah, you know what? Let's have Trump take one and see how well he does.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I was shocked by George Stephanopoulos. It's almost like he was anal. He was holding on to a question, and I don't know what he thought he was going to get.
I like George Stephanopoulos. I did
too. Not now. I liked Adam Schiff too. Not now.
But now
I'll still vote for him because we need Democrats in the Senate. But you remember how Democrats can be clutching their pearls when they had Al Franken step down over a picture that was even a fake picture.
Exactly.
He wasn't even touching her.
And by the way, I think Franken's going to run again and he's going to win.
I hope so. But you remember how shame, we're the Democrats have, don't mind the Republicans. At least, are you kidding? They were laughing all the way. That the Republicans were laughing at us.
But they allowed Donald Trump to say, grab them by the what?
Yeah.
To get by with sexual misconduct and that whole case, to be convicted of 34 felony charges, and all these charges against him in the federal government. I still see him indicted in the federal government and convicted, by the way.
I'm telling you.
And for all of you nervous about SCOTUS, we'll get new justices or different ones. And I'm telling you, the presidential immunity thing will come to the court again, and they're going to overturn this court.
It's going to be overturned. Roe versus Wade will be codified. But right. I saw those justices, and I've seen this for a while, even since Kavanaugh got in, sitting before a tribunal, so to speak, having to explain where they got their money, if they paid taxes on the money, and also why did they tell the senators a lie that they would not touch precedent.
And at least two of them are going to be, I feel, indicted on criminal charges, and I see at least one or two of them impeached.
One of them, if Thomas doesn't step down, he'll be impeacched.
But there's another
same
one.
With what's that other guy's name?
Alito. Or one of them. But I'm telling you. So ultimately, if they're smart, before they're impeached, they'll just resign. But that doesn't stop the impeachment. Right. But I see criminal charges against a couple of those justices. So, but anyway, everything this SCOTUS has done at some point is going to be overturned. Yeah. So. And so
Joanne had asked, when will the Dems stop talking about replacing Biden? I say in a couple of weeks. I think by September, we're moving forward with Biden.
Because, right now they're playing right as my guides told me, they're playing right into what Trump wants. Trump planted the story. He needs to resign. I'm sure that Trump's people did, the misinformation. And Russia's
behind it.
Correct. And I think the Dems need to stand up and say, wait a minute, you support your candidate who's a convicted felon. We support our candidate who has done nothing wrong and who will pretty much save our democracy. So I see the Dems pulling at least, I think Putin and Trump wanted to fracture the Democratic Party. They will not succeed. It's not
They're
going to
gonna, why aren't people talking about 25? Why aren't people talking about the Epstein?
exactly.
Why aren't people talking about it?
Right. I agree. Trump said he didn't know anything about 2025.
Oh,
Right.
and his name's all over it.
Ding, ding, ding. That ding, ding, ding is my BS bell.
Yeah.
His name
So
is all.
Pam wants to know, do you get anything on when Stephen Miller will be prosecuted?
I see the number 7. So it could be 7 weeks, 7 months, could be not 7 years. But I see him. Well, first of all, I see him indicted. You have to be indicted first, and then go through trial. That's prosecution. The bigger question is, will he be found guilty? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
He served time. The answer
He's
to
about
that,
a year, 2 years off.
right. Will he serve time? The answer to that is also yes.
So Luana said, what will happen with Trump's request to remove Jack Smith? He's always been talking trash about Jack Smith.
Well,
Who cares what he says? He's not.
If Trump wins, we know what'll happen to Jack Smith.
Yeah, but also first of all, he's not president. He
Correct.
can request anything he wants, but he's not president.
Trump has always thought he's president. He's been running the House ever since he lost. And ever since the Republicans took over. Notice when the Democrats had control of the House, how smoothly it ran. The minute the MAGAs took over, did you notice how all the chaos ensued?
Yeah. So,
Trump is not
Catherine
president.
said, will Biden run with Camilla? I don't understand why people think he would change out. Of course he will.
He's not going to change at all.
He's not going to change. People are saying, who's he going to choose for his new? What? He's not choosing anybody. The one person I always said voluntarily steps down was Merrick Garland.
Right. Biden will run with Kamala.
Yeah. Will Jared Golden keep his seat against Trump-endorsed Austin Theriault? This is the state of Maine. Jared Golden is Democrat and Austin is Republican MAGA.
I see a Democrat winning.
Okay, so Jared will win. Welcome home, Auntie Mel.
Thank you.
Apparently, E. Jean Carroll, she's asking if she'll make a GoFundMe. E. Jean Carroll has already told Stormy Daniels when she gets those millions from Trump, she'll pay off her bill towards Trump. Remember, she owes $600,000. She'll
Right.
give it off. Yeah.
And she will, by the way.
Yeah.
And
Chris,
she will get her money.
will Biden weather the media and political push to step down? Absolutely, yes.
He's
even more
weathering it.
determined.
He's told him, I'm not going anywhere, and he's not going to step down.
And somebody's asking, what effect will the immunity ruling have on 45 cases? I'm not seeing a nothing burger. I feel that judge will have a mock trial. But I see, we're going into 3 months away from this. I can't wait, because when Biden wins and wins by a landslide, sure, Trump will throw a fit. But I feel like everything will be reversed, including what the Supreme Court said.
Well, the thing is, that's what's presidential and what's personal, and sifting through all of that. So then what'll happen is Judge Chutkan will say, okay, this is presidential, this is personal, and here are those arguments. Trump will appeal it to the Supreme Court again, which doesn't meet until October. So they'll hear the argument, but then they won't make an announcement until after the election.
Right, right.
That was the whole, the court, this, Trump's lawyers had talked to those justices about this immunity thing before they even heard the case. And I think two or three of those justices had their minds made up before they even heard the case. One of them, I forgot, who was it? Was it Kavanaugh? Or one of them said, the people arguing against Trump were like, here's the merits of the case. And one of the judges said, well, we're not interested in the merits of the case. We're interested in what implication this has for future presidents. Well, excuse me, the Supreme Court is supposed to hear arguments based on the
Oh, and
merits.
also Thomas with his big mouth thinking that perhaps Jack Smith is illegal. He had no right to talk about that.
That's correct. That's correct. So, they, in my opinion, they misused their duties as justices. At least three of them did, because they're supposed to hear, a case based on the facts of the case, and they didn't.
No,
They did not.
it was a shock to everybody's system.
I'm sorry.
Basic immunity was still there. Like, but do they even understand the power they just gave Biden? They don't think Biden will use it, but he may towards the end. They're going to try to throw some fit, maybe even Johnson's involved, where they're going to say, well, yeah, Biden won, but we decide. No, you don't decide.
That's right. I mean, Biden could say, I'm president. I've got immunity. My act is presidential. I'm making it as president. Who's going to say anything? And if he pulled something like that, the Republicans, their underwear would be in a bunch.
Yeah. So apparently there's a missing white buffalo calf. Did you hear about that?
A what?
A white buffalo calf was stolen.
Was stolen. When?
It seems like a while ago. No one has seen it. Hold on. And over a month, will it be found? I feel it will be found because someone will see it and no, wait a second, that's a white calf.
It'll be found. In a lot of the Native American ways, when a white buffalo is born, it's very sacred. It represents the North, which represents a coming together of all the tribes and the nations. So that's a good omen that a white buffalo was born. I think somebody stole it. It will be returned. I think it's a message.
Someone's going to turn them in, whoever stole it.
And I think it's a message that justice will be done. Right now, we don't think it will be, but it will be. I think it's symbolic of the justice that will be done in our country as well.
Right. So Jenna wants to know, Sean Harris is running against MGT. What are his chances?
If he gets out in campaigns, he's got a really good chance, but
he's not campaigning.
Oh, I don't know. I don't, but Marjorie Taylor Greene comes from a really, really red area.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. And she's not running for Senate. She's running for Congress.
Correct. I still see her in a lot of trouble.
She's really going to be taken down.
Hunter Biden.
Yeah, justice is coming to her, but I'm not necessarily seeing her win.
I don't either, but I'm telling you, I see a lot of lawsuits against her, and these people are going to win these lawsuits. So,
oh, good. Well, Biden is already suing her for using his likeness as porn,
and he's going to win.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
I mean, she can cry broke, and she didn't do it, and blah blah blah. But it's just a matter of record.
Elsa, did you see that board that had that said Biden had dementia but spelt it totally wrong?
I saw that. Yes, it was like Biden has dementia, and it was, and I put that. I was on you all's chain with Sue, with cousin Sue and all that, and I said, yeah, whoever spelled it wrong.
I know, but somebody's saying, why didn't somebody double check? They did. That's how stupid they all are.
Exactly my point.
They didn't get it. No.
So actually that helped Biden, I think.
Did you ever see Taylor Swift endorsing Biden?
No.
She's not going to?
No, oh, she will. Yeah, she'll endorse Biden.
Oh.
I just asked if, I see. I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. She will endorse Biden, absolutely.
Take a look at George Bush. Why do we never hear a peep from him?
Because I think he is really upset about what's going on with the MAGA Republicans, and he can't
And the
stand.
Supreme Court that he picked.
Correct. You know, I think he was very good friends with Bill Clinton, actually.
He was.
Yeah, or he is.
Barb
Um,
said, Mel, will Biden take a cognitive test? He had a big, before, physical in February. And they checked him for Parkinson and everything, and he came out clean as a whistle.
if he bows down to that,
Oh, yeah. In the meantime, Trump does nothing except lie about Ronnie McDonald.
right. So, you know, people should be saying that Trump needs to take one. And Trump won't. We know that.
Yeah.
I've got questions if you need them.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you got some questions.
Um,
Please, no personal questions, or talk to my agent before you ask.
Sugar Magnolia says, I've seen postings of 45's jet parked next to a Russian one at Dulles Airport. I've not heard much about it. Does anyone know what that was about?
Of whose?
Sugar Magnolia, I like that, says that she's seen postings of Trump's jet parked next to a Russian one at Dulles.
Oh, yeah, that somebody from that Russian flight, it wasn't Putin, came over there to talk to him, to give him a check or give him some money, and gave his instructions. You know, he lives by instructions.
Of course. Of course. All right. You have one or you want me to go?
Oh, you keep going. Yeah, I did several. You can do a few.
Okay. Welcome back, Mel. It's Michelle Grande. Hi, Michelle. Thank you. Look forward to seeing both you and Linda together. Thank you. She said, thank you both. I wanted to know, are these attacks on Biden's debate and asking him to drop out going to stop? The answer is yes.
Yes.
And very soon. And she says it's distracting from the truth, and his own party are their own worst enemy. I agree with that.
I agree, and I don't understand why they're holding that sword on these cable news networks. I don't know what the hell George
Well, I think
Stephanopoulos. He used to be a go-to person. He's
because
nobody now.
because I think the head of a lot of those networks are Trump
Is
supporters.
a Trump supporter.
But it's going to blow up. I mean, it's not going to. I mean, I see the Democrats really getting behind Biden and pushing him forward as opposed to standing in front of him and trying to hold him back right now.
Right, right.
Okay. This is a personal question. Normally we don't do them, but I think this one's okay. Mary Polkowitz says, well, my husband's unemployment come through soon. There's a hang up and we need the money. I see it coming through within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. Water Lily says, welcome back, Mel. Hope you guys had an amazing time in Africa. It was really incredible. Thank you for sharing all those amazing photos. Yay. Those animals are just incredible to see.
Yeah.
A few celebs, people on Twitter calling for President Biden to step down. Are they going to survive their career, the backlash, and what's being unleashed on them? I am so disappointed in them. Biden will survive this. The celebs, it might not bode too well for them.
Which celebs, I wonder? I haven't seen any celebs telling them to step down.
I don't know. I
And
haven't.
don't forget, a lot of it is fake news.
Correct.
Somebody just showed a whole thing where they were showing the top-notch Democrats were going to have a meeting and all this, and somebody wrote that this is actually a fake news. It's not real. There is no meeting.
Right, exactly.
Now, I heard Gretchen Whitmer said he needs to step down. That was sort of a knee jerk. I forgive her because she went to the meeting with Biden and came out totally Biden.
Right. Because Biden's got it together. Okay. Oh, I like this one, Pink Lady. I love the way she asked this.
Is there a drink called the Pink Lady? A cocktail?
I don't know.
I thought there was a cocktail named the Pink Lady. Okay, go ahead.
She spells it pink, Laydee, lady. I like that.
Oh, okay.
Hi Mel, glad you're back. Hi Linda. Will the Dims grow a pair? No, she didn't say a pair. She said, will they grow a spine and get behind Biden and trounce the media? Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay.
That's why when I saw Rachel Maddow, Nicole, and all those guys at the board, and I see all these numbers, it's going to be uncanny. I'm telling you, there's a key factor in here. The factor is, while everybody's telling him to step down, he got millions of dollars from millions of people, lowball amounts under $200. That tells you a lot. That's what happened with Obama. He was getting $20 here, 20 there. So that tells you that the people are 96% of Democrats are saying, no, he doesn't need to step down. But just the people who think they run our lives. So, but I had a vision of the board and I saw like, it's not going to take forever. It's not a close call. I see them saying he's won. And I kind of see that look of shame even on Maddow's face. She should have never gone there.
I agree.
He should have stood up for our president. While Joe Biden went with Morning Joe, because Morning Joe said, I'd rather have a guy who messed up on a one night of a debate than a convicted felon.
Yeah, but you got that right. Absolutely my point. But I still think that, I see Biden gaining a lot of strength as a result of all this. If he can weather this storm, think of what else he can do.
September, don't forget, you guys, September, he's rocking and rolling.
And I think right before the election, he's going to give some kind of rebate or something, some kind of.
Oh, remember I told you that's how he gets in, is he's like he did the last time. You got a check waiting for you. I even see that he starts telling America, when we start, if I win, we start getting that little percentage from the wealthy, we can up Social Security.
That's right.
And it'll mean a lot, that $200-300 for people who are living paycheck to paycheck. I read for a lady today, she gets $2,000 a month and $1,000 of it goes for her rent. So yeah. she
and
lives off that.
By the time you pay Medicare out of that,
my McDonald's bill wouldn't cover that. I'm telling you right now, I couldn't make it.
Exactly.
All the candy and ice cream and stuff I like to get.
Wouldn't cover the shrimp.
Who would cover my shrimp cocktail?
Kathy Reagan says, welcome back, Auntie Mel. Hey, hi, Kathy. I hope you had a memorable experience in Africa. It was phenomenal.
He did. I'll never go though, because I can't handle that long of a journey.
Oh, it's a long. I
would have been on one of those customer wars, because I would have been videotaped, because if that happened to me with your flight, I would have been going crazy.
Oh, you should have seen me.
Oh, you were going crazy?
Oh, yeah. You should have seen me go off on the guy who tried to scam us out of money in Africa.
Oh, yeah. Tell me that story again. That was an unusual story.
So what happens were we were crossing the border from Tanzania back into Kenya. So when you go in, you have to show like this, your yellow fever vaccination card. And, and then the guy said, okay, go to this line. He pointed us to this line. So we went to that line. He says, okay, now go to that line. That's all he did. And I thought he worked there or something. I didn't know who he was. So when we all got through the line, he goes, do you have a big group? And I said, yes, I have 18. He goes, well, that'll be $10 a person. I go, for what? And he said, because I helped you guys. I said, you pointed us to 2 lines. And he said, well, you'll have to tell them. So I told him, and I'm like, wait. And then it dawned on me, no, something's not right here. And so I give him $20, 10 for me and 10 for Gary. And I said, Gary, come here. I just gave this guy $20, 10 for you, 10 for me. He goes, I've already given him $10. And I looked at the guy and I said, you didn't tell me that. And then my light bulb went off. Scam, scam. I said, you know what, sir? You are not worth anything. You're scamming. And I said, I have a problem with that. So I went and got the lady who watches the luggage go through, not that she did a great job. And I told her what happened. And then the guy says to me, well, how about $30? I said, no, maybe $1 a piece, maybe $18, but not $180. You've already got $50 of 5 people who've paid you. I said, I want that money back. And he said, no. So I went outside after I cleared everything, and from when you go from Kenya to Tanzania, we had to switch drivers, because they can't work in both countries. So anyway, the new set of drivers and the old set, I told them what happened. And they went in and got the guy, and they brought him outside, and I heard him lying. Oh no, he offered me the $30, blah, blah, blah. I got out of the safari vehicle, walked up to him, and I put my finger in his face. I said, you, sir, are a liar. And what's worse than a liar, you are a thief and you're a scammer. You came to me and wanted $10 a person for doing absolutely nothing. I said, so you had better tell the truth, or there's going to be a freaking war. I went off on him. I mean, I went off on him. And the driver took me by the shoulder. He goes, I will take care of this. Or I'll looking at me
They
going,
get the money back from him?
they got the money back? Yes. And so those in my vehicle, I'd given 10, Gary had given 10, and Amanda had given 10. What we did is, when the driver got in, he's the one that negotiated, and he said, thank you for telling us. That should have never happened. We will make sure it doesn't happen again. That guy has no authority. We told the authorities, we did this, we did that. So we decided that we would give the driver the
That
30.
money.
So we did. Gary
Oh,
goes, Mel, let it go. And I go, I'm not letting it go. The guy's a thief. Okay. If he needed $10, I would have given it to him, but don't try to screw me out of it.
I also feel that woman you tried to talk to might be in on it with him. She might get a percentage of it.
Well, she probably did, but you know what? Guess what? Spoiled her day too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So somebody wanted to know, Jules wanted to know, will Grassley lose his bid in 2025 for a Senate seat?
wait, he's a Miago, right?
He's that ancient man.
Yeah, I don't see him in office. I
I'm
don't.
wondering if he even lives long enough, but the thing is, if he
My
dies,
point.
they say he'll put his son in there.
I don't think his son would win. I don't
I'm
feel
not seeing him. But I'm not,
either.
I don't even know if he runs because it feels like the seat is empty.
That's what I see. Okay, Kathy Reagan says, I don't know if I asked this. Hello, Mel. Hello, Linda. When do you both see serious reforms in regards to the U.S. Supreme Court? They have lost all credibility. That's true. They
Yeah,
certainly
it's
have.
within the next year, 2 years.
That's what I see. More
It's
justices, a
when Biden takes over again.
couple impeached.
So listen, Lucid said, no question, just wanted to say to Mel how much he was missed. Oh,
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
will the video ever come out of Trump from the Epstein files? You know, there's videos of him assaulting women, young girls. Will those videos ever be released?
Well, he'll try to pay to keep them squelched, or
I see high top brass. This might happen a little ways down the road.
I see them coming forward at some point.
Okay. Okay, Graham said, did Orange Menace unknowingly participate in a document sting operation when his plane was parked on the tarmac along with the Russian Saudi planes? I don't know what that means.
I don't get that.
She must be talking about recently because he's already sold. Putin's already told America, I got all the information from Trump.
Absolutely. I'm hearing no to that question. So
Yeah. I know President Biden had a terrible debate. Will the American voters believe the nonsense that he isn't competent? Yes, they're going to believe it. It's the American voters that are standing up for him.
Well,
Maybe not these people that live in luxury boxes, but the real people, the ones that are sending 20 here, 30 here of their hard-earned money to him, and millions of them, or as Trump likes to say, millions and billions.
Right.
Millions of them, and Biden keeps trying to tell that, like to Morning Joe and stuff. You won't believe the amount of money and how many millions of people have shown support. That gave him the shot in the arm to keep going. So
I agree.
he was very touched by that.
My friend Rosaire said that during the debate that Biden's microphone seemed they turned down the volume or it was hard to hear him. And I'm thinking they might have
They did. They
played
did. They set it up.
That's what I think too. That's exactly what I think.
Yeah. Did you have another question?
Soulshine says, to date, 4 more Democratic congressmen are calling for Biden to step down. Same question. Will they stop this nonsense and support our president? And the answer is yes.
Yes. Stephanie, a high qualified candidate, Liz Dunn, is seeking the Democratic spot to run against Ana Paulina Luna, who is Florida's low rent MJT. Will Liz Dunn win? I feel she will win. I heard yes as clear as
I hear a yes to that.
And here's the other good news, you guys. Hello, France, England. That was huge. They got rid of their right wingers, and you don't think America's not going to go the same route? He's not going to win.
It will go the same route. And you know,
I bet you Putin is worried.
Oh, he's doo-dooing in his pants, just like Trump did in the courtroom. Oh, entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only.
Poopy pants. You know, I want to touch on what Soulshine, more Democratic congressmen are calling for Biden to step down. Actually, my psychic light bulb just went on, and you know, these Congress people better be careful when they're asking Biden to step down, because if they're going to run for re-election, they might not get reelected because of it, which means I think that the MAGAs are behind it, because if they can keep these 4 Congress people or 5 from getting reelected, they think they can take over those seats.
Well, they're making them think they can't get reelected if he runs because his numbers were so low and it's going to pull their numbers, but it's not.
That's my point. That's my point. So I see what the MAGAs and Trump people and all that are trying to do, but it's not going to work.
Right. So listen, will Jack Smith ever indict Trump for the Bedminster documents?
The answer is yes. I see that he's already, because that wasn't presidential. That was done after Trump left office.
I think he's already planning it.
He is. He is. And I'm seeing that he's already talking to trying to convene a grand jury, and they won't use Eileen Cannon. It'll be a completely different judge.
Yeah. And within the next, after Biden wins, Jack is just jumping for joy.
And you can't say it's done. They can't say it's because of presidential immunity, because he wasn't president when they found the things.
So Glimmer said, she's saying, Dear Sterling, she's got the wrong show. I watch a lot of Black content creators on TikTok, and they have very vividly expressed that if Kamala isn't Joe's VP, they will not back Biden. Absolutely. And she said, this worries me because you said she will be replaced and seated on the Supreme Court. Oh, so Sterling must have said this. I didn't know he said this.
Please say it again, Linda. I couldn't hear what
I guess Sterling had said Kamala would not be Joe's VP and she'll be on the Supreme Court instead.
Is she a lawyer?
Yeah.
Or a judge?
She was a DA in San Francisco. No, she's not going. I'm telling you, everybody tries to make Michelle Obama, will she be on the Supreme Court? So-and-so, not even Merrick Garland is going back there. No, there's no Supreme Court. Even Atticus, what's his name? Adam Schiff isn't going there.
I don't see that.
Court is a hard job.
And you have to have to be in the Supreme Court, you should have had practice in a federal courtroom as a judge. So
and listen, she's right. We read for a lot of Black people that say, listen, they drop her. It would infuriate the Black community if he was to drop her.
Oh, absolutely.
And they wouldn't trust her if she said, I'm stepping down on my own accord. They wouldn't believe that.
She's not
she tries to play nice. No, I see Kamala still going as his VP.
So do I. It's not going to change. Okay. Martha Spillman says, astrologers are saying July 15th has a particularly negative Saturn aspect happening. Maybe something about the star Algo. That's also the first day of the Republican convention. What do you see about that time period?
That's a
I,
Sunday.
I don't know about
Oh, that's a Monday, sorry.
I don't know about July the 15th. We'd really have to almost ask our resident astrologer,
Andre, I need to have him on this week.
Andre, but I don't see any huge issues arising. Maybe some people protesting and things like that around the Republican convention, but
I don't know how many times I've had, but by the way, if you notice, Andre doesn't play that. Oh, it's this date you're gonna have, because let me tell you, years ago, I found this out when Saturn was entering my sign, and Susan Miller, she had certain dates. So my Saturn effect wasn't going to take place till the next year. And she was right. You know, it's sometimes certain placement of planets doesn't mean it happens that day. It can just gradually. I think it's the beginning of the end for Republicans.
that's what I think. And Saturn doesn't mean necessarily anything bad. It's a great benefic. It can mean a tearing down, a rebuilding. More importantly, it's lessons to be learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's about lessons to be learned if the MAGAs continue on with their idea of that they're in power. When
Yeah.
really they're not. Their power will be short-lived. I can assure everybody of that.
Yeah. And I can't wait till Eileen Cannon is shown the door.
Oh, she's gonna get the boot, the big boot, right where the sun don't shine.
Oh, God forbid if Trump won and that 25 goes through, they're going to take away women's right to vote. They're going to take away VA benefits. They're going to take away gay rights.
They'll take
Everything will, and you know, there's nobody, especially the vets, that could look at that. A lot of cops are vets. They worked in a war, and for them to still want Trump with this happening.
I know, it's crazy. Okay. Healing Light says, welcome home, Mel. Hi, Linda. Any inkling on severe weather events for the Hawaiian Islands? If so, which islands do you see being the worst impacted? I see a lot of rain again in Hawaii. You know, Kauai had a lot of floods 3 or 4 years ago. I think, you know, Maui's going to get some flooding. The Big
I
Island.
see a volcano spewing.
That's the Big Island.
Okay.
But as far as a hurricane that was like Iniki, that I don't see this year or next year. I mean, they get hit like every 30 years with a big hurricane. Iniki was 1992. So they're kind of past due, but I just don't see it this year. What I do see are more severe storms coming up through the Gulf Coast and up through the eastern seaboard on the Atlantic coast. So they've just added a new level to hurricanes. They used to only go to a 5, now they go to a 6. So I see we're going to see a lot of level 6, at least 2 or 3 level 6 hurricanes hitting the Caribbean and the United States.
Florida.
Right.
So let's do a last one.
Okay.
A last question. Everybody's talking about that dementia. Can't they spell dementia? It's like, you guys, it's so crazy. It's so funny.
I forgot how they spelled it, but it was like, I was like, they can't even spell dementia.
And then they were saying this, somebody was showing, it was so funny, a sign, you know, white something is in my jeans, and they spelled it JEANS.
No.
And so they were showing pictures of JC Penney jeans, of Levi jeans.
Which really just made them look that much more crazy.
So you asked the last question, Mike.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Just give me a second. I gotta find it. All right. This is a good one. I think it's a good closing. I think that the person is the Skogo. Okay. When Biden wins, will everyone in the media apologize for doubting?
No.
No.
There will be no apologies. They'll just try to shuffle over it like they, you know, whatever.
Exactly. That's what I think.
That's how they work. That's how they roll.
Right. They're not going to apologize.
No. But I want the apology, by God.
Oh, me
It's
too.
really changed my mind.
Oh, me too.
It's changed my mind about cable networks now.
About a lot of it.
I'll listen to Sky News, maybe some PBS, but I'm not ever going back there because, except for Lawrence O'Donnell, I will watch him. That's it. Boy, did you see the way Governor Newsom? Oh, you didn't see it. You were in Africa. So who's the one that took her place? What's her name? Took
Oh,
the Monday night spot.
oh, Rachel.
Alex something is her name. She
Uh,
took who's the main person for MSNBC? Rachel Maddow. She took Rachel Maddow's plate on Monday night. Not Monday night, she works Tuesdays through Fridays. Her name is Alex something. She's got dark hair. So she's sitting after the debate with Governor Newsom. Now, mind you, Governor Newsom was right off the top, not going against Biden. And she said, so who do you think should take Biden's place? And he said to her, you know what? We need to grow one. We need to have a spine. We need to stand up for our president. Yeah, he had a bad night, but you're just already throwing him. What about the liar in chief over there? What about the guy that's out on bail? You got nothing. Nobody's calling for his resignation, but you're all over a good man who's done this. I have on my community page all the list of accomplishment Biden has done. It's just unbelievable. He's done more than even Roosevelt.
He's done more for any president since this country since 1963.
Yeah, he's fantastic. So, and remember back when I used to read, Roosevelt used to say he was going to do the New Deal. He'll do a form of the New Deal.
That's right.
So anyway, and Roosevelt was in a wheelchair, but back then the press was very good about not going there because they believed in, values and stuff.
Right.
Trump couldn't be seen with someone in a wheelchair. He didn't like that. So anyway, he told her off. She was cowering a little bit because I think the way he was talking, he was very firm. His back was straight. He's looking at her and he's telling her what for. And then she thanked him for coming on, and the scowl he gave her, I wish I got a screenshot of that. Like, where's my purse? He sashayed off. He was not having it, not a bit.
Yeah, I like him.
Loved it. And he stood up for this president. He has been on it.
And he's going to be really out there campaigning for Biden.
And I love Kamala too, because Kamala, she stood by him. She didn't say, well, maybe. No.
Kamala's going to be out there campaigning.
She works with him. She says, I see him all the time. There's not he is on it.
Barack's going to be out there campaigning.
Yeah.
Michelle's going to be out there campaigning. All the big hitters in the Dems are going to be out there.
But I could not believe it. Broke my heart about Atticus.
And they really can't say anything about a Dems who call for Biden to resign and then they start campaigning for him. If the MAGAs try to say, oh, well, they want him to resign and now they're campaigning for him. Oh, well, let's look at your film clips about what you said about Trump in the beginning. And now let's look where you are.
Lindsey Graham, if we vote for him, we get what's coming to us.
Right.
Marco Rubio. Oh, last but not least, VP pick. I don't know why I'm feeling Trump doesn't even want the ones he's looking at.
He doesn't.
I feel like he doesn't want to give up that power. Like he thinks he can run the whole thing.
He thinks he can run the whole thing. He would have a vice president that would be a yes person. Yes, 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 yes.
That's why I always thought he said a year or 2 years ago, because remember he started running back in the 60s. He said that he was going to pick Ben Carson. I can tell you right now, I'm going to pick Ben. Then Ben Carson came out of the news. But Ben Carson is flaccid. He could run him anywhere he wanted.
Well, I think if he picks Ben Carson, or people will be even more afraid to vote for him because if something happened to Trump, do you really want Ben Carson to be president?
But he doesn't want anybody with any gonads. That's why he wants a family member.
Correct. That's exactly what he wants.
He's going to do something with the VP pick that I feel surprises everybody.
It will. And it's going to also make everybody angry.
Okay. All right, honey. Well, today's Monday. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for the prayers for our people who are under the hurricane. It's still a dangerous storm surge right now.
Well, we'll keep sending prayers and healing light. And then next Monday, you're on my channel and
We'll
We'll-
talk. But listen, yeah, it's good. I had Arthur on, and we had a good time.
good. He's a nice guy.
He's very nice. He's a sweetheart.
Excellent psychic too.
His calendar is wide open. I'm having a lot of people saying, since you're not doing readings, can you recommend? So I recommend him too, because he has wide opening. How about you? What's your calendar like?
It's getting full, but I've got openings as well. So,
Okay, I'll tell them about you.
but
And,
can we just talk real fast before we sign off about our event in Chicago, end of September?
I can't wait.
We've got Linda sent her books. We got them. We got the satchels. We got the notebooks. We got the water bottles. We got everything. It's going to be at Pippin's. And if you're interested, call my office, 847-590-5411. We've only got openings for 14 more people. It's pretty
Can
much.
you believe it?
Yeah, I'm excited. So, yay.
Yay. Thank you, you guys. We
All
love
right.
you. I need to get my nails done. Thanks for reminding me.
Ooh.
Okay. All
All
right,
right.
you guys, we'll catch you on the other side. See you next Monday. Cheers.